Everything you need to know about the Copenhagen Major before it releases. Now, if you're looking to unbox some capsules, because let's be honest, we all do enjoy opening up a couple capsules, the truth is there's two beneficial times to go ahead and do it. The first one is going to be right immediately upon release. As long as you're unboxing these capsules within an hour or two, you can probably get a pretty decent price on a lot of the stickers you're going to be selling off, leading to a decent ROI. Now, it's probably not going to be over 100%, but you're probably going to be losing a lot less than if you wait a day or two to go ahead and do it. But if you want to actually make profit while unboxing these capsules, there's a best time to do it, and that's going to be right when the sale hits. Usually when the sale hits, the ROI of these capsules at $1 is sitting roughly around 50% at $1. Therefore, if we buck that price down to 25 cents, you're now going to be looking at a 200% ROI, which is very beneficial because that means for a very short time period, you can go ahead and unbox these capsules and actually make a profit if you're immediately selling out the stickers, and obviously you get some average pulls. But the truth is, it's not going to be something I would highly suggest you do unless you're there within the first hour, because this ROI, once again, drops off very significantly, and you always got to make sure you're playing it smart and not just opening these up as an investment if you're not knowing what you're doing. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins, with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options, and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Then we have our teams to watch, and I've got 13 teams specifically that I'm going to be personally watching. The first 6 are going to be the ones that only have one borderless iteration. We've talked about them before: Imperial, Mongols, Cloud9, Apex, Virtus Pro, and Eternal Fire. You've seen them all in the previous video, and you're seeing them all on screen right now. They're definitely something that's interesting if we see a borderless sticker for Copenhagen, but that is not what we want. More specifically though, there's a couple big ones that I want to focus in on. Specifically, Lin Vision is one that I'm looking at just because it's a Chinese team. We don't have Tai Lu here. We don't know the demand that's going to be for this sticker, but it's definitely a possibility. It could be very hyped, or it could just be nothing at all. Another thing not to forget inside of this area is we don't know specifically how Valve is going to be breaking down the capsules. Previously, we used to have the Legends, Contenders, and the Challengers, and now we potentially are shifting into the stages because it's a whole new dynamic. You can see it on screen how it would have looked for Paris. Now, you often hear me mention when I'm talking about the Antwerp Hollows that they specifically performed extremely well, outperforming the capsules in most cases, and usually there was one specific kind that was outperforming the rest. Those are going to be the borderless no alternative stickers. Basically, stickers that only have one borderless option, and usually it came from Stockholm, Antwerp, or Paris, more specifically these ones from Antwerp. And the truth is, that's extremely good and extremely profitable. But when we want to look at Paris, what exactly happened inside of this area, we can see that it totally crashed and burned. We can look at this sheet I created right here. A lot of options right here for stickers that only have one borderless iteration. And if we want to look at these stickers right now, all of them are doing absolutely abysmal. And that's for a couple big reasons. Obviously, in the short term, we don't expect to see any massive amount of profits, but these stickers themselves are still going to struggle in the longer period because there's so much quantity out there for Paris. If we want to talk about it moving into the Copenhagen Major, it's very likely that if we see borderless stickers, we're going to see an even worse problem there. So although I definitely think you should be looking into these stickers that are only going to have one borderless option, it's not the end all be all because the supply is just way too massive, and it's going to take a significant amount of time to see a significant amount of profit. It's the problem we're seeing all over major investing, and the problems continue when we're talking about souvenir packages. Now, we've talked about souvenir packages being absolutely abysmal investments, but the truth is you're going to end up with a couple of them if you go ahead and purchase the pass. So what's going to be the best route for you? Well, honestly, it's going to be waiting until the end of the major to go ahead and redeem them. That's because we can see what happened with the Dust 2 souvenir package, where it was removed after the major went ahead and concluded, and therefore the souvenir collection was actually a little bit more valuable. And as you can see, it's turned out to be one of the best souvenir package investments, which is not much at all. You can see by this graph I've created here, souvenir packages drop off so significantly because we see repeated collections over and over and over, and there's nearly zero distinguishment between majors, and there's nearly zero demand afterwards. They're terrible long-term investments, but if you could get some discontinued ones for the price of $3 and you have to get some anyways, that's going to be the only option that I would even consider. Now, hands down, one of the most influential areas is going to be currency conversion problems. We saw it with Stockholm, where you could buy capsules for only 15 cents instead of 25 cents. We also saw it with Paris here. Instead of a 25-cent price point, we're looking at potentially 21 cents for some specific currencies. Doesn't seem like a lot until you realize that's 16% off, and that's someone that's going to be buying millions of capsules at that discount. Therefore, I would definitely say there's a couple big things to come from this. First up, don't be making your investment too early. You're going to want to wait until the sale. You're going to want to wait till you're a decent amount into the sale. That's because you're going to be having more information. You're going to have supply numbers, demand numbers, so much more information that's going to be making it a better option for you to go ahead and specifically pick out your investment. But you're also going to have less risk. That's because you're no longer going to have 3-4 months where potentially a currency conversion issues are going to happen. Instead, you may only have 1 or 2 months, which is something that can't be overstated because a lot of people got burned with this in the past. and it's not something you want to happen to you. Now, about 6 months ago, Valve went ahead and rolled out an update. Right here, you can see they were removing specific currencies, the Argentine peso and the Turkish lira, two big ones, to try and reduce the potency that currency conversion issues have on side of the in-game economy. But the truth is, it's never going to be fully eliminated, and we can see that with Paris, where we saw a 16 to 20% decrease in price for some specific areas. It's just something you're going to need to be aware of, track it yourself, or you can always come to me because I'm always going to keep you updated. Now, when it comes to investing, there's always a lot of major traps that come along with it, but the one that has consistently performed to be the biggest enticement and the lowest return is going to be the Champions Capsule. We've seen it with every single major that has had the Champions Capsule. It's come out, it comes out a little bit later, people went ahead and wait until the sale and then they invest into it. The truth is there's just no demand. I'll be completely honest, when we're talking about autograph capsules, they usually tend to struggle a little bit more than the team logo capsules because of lower demand. Champions Capsule always has zero demand to go along with it after the major ends, and therefore it's a complete avoid from me. Now, should you specifically be investing into Copenhagen is such a wild can of worms because there's so many variables we don't know about. The truth is, it's going to be something that you make a day of decision, but you can't do anything until Copenhagen actually releases and we see all the massive impacts that come with it. The biggest investments you're going to be making are areas outside of Copenhagen that are relying on Copenhagen. We talk about Paris. Paris right now has the possibility to go up or down depending on what Copenhagen comes out with, if we see a borderless sticker there or not. Those are the investments I would suggest you be looking at right now if you really want to get into this area, but always have some money on the sidelines because you don't want to have to quick sell off if you do want to invest into Copenhagen. The biggest area that I'm potentially looking into right now is going to be Antwerp. I'll be completely honest, when we look at the data that we saw in the previous video, Antwerp is on an absolute tear, and if we want to look at Paris, Paris is also on an absolute tear right here. You can see every single column is green for Paris, absolutely perfect, but the truth is when we want to compare supplies, it's just not even a question. Antwerp has such a significantly less amount of supply that does impact your investing decisions, or at least for me personally. When we want to look at price points, we can see that Antwerp has dropped down a decent amount in the past 6 months, making it a huge opportunity for me personally inside of this area. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but if I was to make a specific investment before Copenhagen, this would probably be what I'm looking at, although it's probably what I'm going to check in on when we see these specific Copenhagen stickers. And finally, what's going to happen to the overall market when we see Copenhagen release? And this is the biggest one because there's so many potential impacts, but the truth is I think they're all trending towards the positive. Unless we see the most absolutely abysmal stickers, I think the market is still moving in a very positive direction. We can look at Esports Fire. The past month has been absolutely amazing. We could look at the player counts. Player counts are still increasing even though we haven't seen a major update in the past couple of weeks. We're seeing a lot of forward momentum for this game right now, and the truth is we haven't seen really anything that I think is going to slow this down. We're on a very good trajectory right now of potential future updates with Copenhagen and potentially something else on the horizon. There's so many positive market impacts in the near future that I think it is extremely unlikely that we would see a negative market in the current moment just based off momentum alone. Combine that with the fact that if we're talking about cases, obviously they have a decreasing supply and the unboxing rates are going absolutely insane. But that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.